Hey everyone, J-Rod Plays here, and today with Into the Light releasing, we now have the Whisper mission back again. That's going to be the Whisper of the Worm mission, and we're going to have some additional secrets. We have some oracles to find, and there's going to be a quest that's involved as well to get the very first additional perk or trait with the gun, which is going to be field prep. So I'm going to run you through the guide that's going to get the 2 oracles that have been found so far, and how to do the quest involved in the Whisper mission, because the quest is going to require some parts that maybe not everybody is able to figure out, and it will seem bugged because it seemed bugged to me until I kind of did a little bit of research and was like, oh, okay, this is what they mean. Because when they say blights, they're not very clear. It's actually a little bit misleading because you would think that the blights they're talking about are the actual blights that spawn in the mission in the center part where you're actually doing combat, but it's blights in the beginning. And so let's start there. This is going to require you to do the quest twice. So the first time you're going to clear it, you're going to get the Whisper of the Worm itself. Once you go and craft the Whisper of the Worm, then you can come back with the Whisper of the Worm, and you'll then be able to complete the quest. So with the blights that it's saying, when you first land, you're going to come into a chamber that's going to be wide open. It's going to have like a blue hue to it. Once you kill those thralls and you cross the blue chamber, you're going to actually come into a wide open area. Now that wide open area is going to have a glyph or kind of a little cube that you can shoot. This is going to be the same cube that you shoot to release the bosses at the end that will actually extend you a walkway, but you're actually not going to be doing that. You're going to be shooting these blights in the order that I have here for you guys. So you're going to see the first one right up close, the second one's a little further back, and then the third one is going to be at the very top. It's going to be kind of obscured a little bit by the light, but you can see it once I shoot it. Then you shoot that little box that I was referring to get back up. It's going to create you some steps that you can then hop up, and you can go over into the area where you kill the Centurion and drop down into the mission itself. Now this blight is actually really beefy, so it's going to take a ton of ammo from you to get through, and it can eat up some time. So just make sure that you're using whatever you can to burn through it, so that you save those precious seconds in case you need them on the back end. Most people will get this done in anywhere between like 12 to 15 minutes. You should have some time left over when you kill the bosses, even on Legend. But that's, of course, if everybody gets down in time. In some of the runs that I had, people were dying over and over again in the back, and I just basically pulled them. Now the next thing we're going to look at is going to be the very first oracle location. So once you get to the opening where you can kind of jump in, you're going to hop over this little area of like Vex material, and you're going to turn to the left, and then you'll see an oracle there. Shoot that oracle, and then you're going to get the white nail 2, which is going to let you unlock the additional perks, like for example the field prep perk that we'll be getting soon here. You also have to make sure that you level up your weapon, and I'll go over that again when I go into the crafting section. But from there, you're going to hop down, and you're going to follow this path that I'm on here, and it's going to be lit up by red light. That's how you kind of know where you can go. There is some areas that are lit red that don't really go anywhere, but as long as you're following the path that I have here on screen, you'll be able to make it through quickly.
Guardian down.
Another little tip, once you get over here, is you can use Icarus Dash to get around the corner, and when you're here, when you're ducking, if you press against the wall and you hop, as you can see here, it speeds me along, so you can actually use this trick to get further along faster. As soon as this wall retracts, you're going to hop really hard, and it's going to let you push through to the next section. You can actually skip a whole section by doing that, and that'll get you a little bit faster through this part, save you some precious seconds. Now you're going to jump across, and you can either land here on the left, or you can go where I'm at on the right if you have Icarus Dash, so that you can make this fall, and you can land here and onto the elevator. Now once you land onto the elevator, it's going to take you up to the top, and there's going to be a little piece sticking out that's going to kill your momentum. You also really can't mantle a lot of stuff here, so you're going to make sure that you're higher a level than the actual thing that you're trying to land on. So what I would do is I would wait until you're at the very top, let that little piece stick out, and just hop around it, so that way you can land on the platform itself and not fall down. Now here you don't want to continue, which is the area to my left. You want to go straight ahead, and this is going to be the second oracle. You're going to hop across, you're going to hop onto the higher section, stop here, it'll knock you off. Look up, and you're going to see the white light of the oracle itself, and it'll be the yellow oracle this time that you can shoot. And this is going to get you the ship pattern, so that way you can start working on your Crave of the Worm ship schematic. This is going to be the second oracle in the little drop down when you're looking at the Triumph, And those are the 2 oracles so far that have been found. And then once I know where all the oracles are at, I'll just put an all oracle video up, so that way you can go straight to that video so that you can see all the locations. But for now, I'm including them in this guide because it's something that you can knock out all in one go. You don't have to continually do more than just the 2 Whisper of the Worm missions, you know, 1 to get the Whisper and then 1 to actually finish the quest that you'll be given once you've completed the first Whisper of the Worm mission. Now from here, if you want to help your teammates, you can kill these vandals. They are kind of annoying. You can actually just jump past them. They shouldn't be able to kill you. With speed, you won't be able to get hit. If you're a warlock, you can skip this first jump and go right to the second jump. If not, you land on that first jump, you hop to the second jump, take out this vandal, and then you're going to be going to the little wall here with the white light shining through with the red. Once that opens up, I'm going to slide in and hop across. And then you're going to jump to your right, and you're going to go all the way down this right platform here, kind of along this ledge, into the very last hole on the right. All the other holes will end up ejecting you to the floor, and you'll fall to your death. When you drop down here, you're going to actually have something to land on. It's going to take you to this big open area. In the past, people climbed around, but in this case, there's a shortcut. If you drop down, do a 180, and hop through the hole like I'm doing here, this is going to save you some time, and it's going to push through to the next section. Now here you want to make sure you're hugging the wall so you don't fall off, and you're going to go all the way around, and if you need to jump early, you can. You can also just try to hug the wall all the way through and get to this final ledge, which is going to let you jump all the way across and into this hole down here. From there, you're going to hop across a chasm. Be careful not to die here. And then you're going to turn left. Once you get to the end of this walkway, you're going to turn right and into this red area. Now, you're going to hug the right wall here to go to the right side where the white area is, and that's going to drop you down into your first encounter. Now, sometimes you get stuck here and then you get booped out, so just be aware that's going to happen. That's just a little buggy. But try to find a place where you can set up and take out these smaller blights. You're going to want to take out the taken vandals, and you're going to want to take out everything that you can in the room. In this part of the mission, I had my teammates just dying over and over and over again, and it's just basically me in here. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of trying to kill everything in the room. In the past, if I remember, you had to kill these taken blights that spawn. Actually, now all you have to do is just take out the enemies, and then the enemies, once the final one dies, will allow you to unlock the next room. I'm only taking out this blight here in front of me because it's just in the way, so I'm just going to take it out. That way I have plenty of space to operate back here, and I can stay safe from all the enemies and try not to die, pretty much. Now once I've taken out this, I'm going to try to first go for the goblins that are blocking the enemies from being killed. They're going to put up that green barrier. Once you take out the taken goblins or you stun them, then from there they're going to release the enemies just like in any other taken scenario, and you can kill the enemies that have been blocked. If you have Radiant going, you can actually shoot through those shields, the Ravenous Vandal shields. So if you're using like a gun like me, for example, that's got Solar, Polaris Lance, for example, that'll also allow you to get Radiant. That'll also let you shoot through the shield once you're Radiant. So now what I'm doing is I'm just finishing the final sets of enemies, and then I'm going to go drop down into the next area. And every time that you do this for the next 2 areas, you're going to end up killing the enemies and having to shoot a little blight that's blocking your path. Once you knock out the blight, then you're going to come around the corner, and there's going to be enemies spawning from the left and the right. I pop my super here because my teammates still haven't caught up yet, so I'm just trying to save some time and cut through this area quickly. Again, because my teammates are really struggling in this run for me. I've had a couple of other runs where the teammates were just fine and they made it through, but since I'm basically carrying here, I had to do what I did, do what I could to move up. Now in this area, same thing, you don't have to kill the blights, you just kill the enemies around them. And what I'm doing is I'm actually using the blights to prevent the enemies from attacking me through them. So I'm using them as cover, because if you stand past the blight, things that try to go through the blight will end up getting stuck on them. Like as you see these goblins that are trying to shoot at me, can't shoot through the blight to get to me. The only time they can hit me is if the tracking retributive strike is going to get past them. Otherwise, though, if you're not getting hit by the retributive strike, then from there you're not going to take damage because it's going to get caught up usually on the blight. I was trying to see if I could shoot through the blights. Unfortunately, you can't shoot through the blights even in Radiant. It would have been really nice, though, if I could do that, if I could shoot them and they couldn't shoot me, for example. But again, you still can shoot through the Vandal shields, so you don't have to worry about that. So now I just have one more enemy to finish off. It's going to be this goblin here on the right. And he's just absolutely running from me like a little dick, trying to keep me from finishing as fast as I could. I'm going to get the finish off on him. He did his best to try to kill me, but I'm not going to let a little single goblin kill me like that, right? Now I'm popping my healing grenade so that I can use the restoration times 2 to stay alive. It is a little bit rough even with the restoration times 2, so I'm dropping a well. And I moved up because there's going to be 2 centurions behind you, as you see the taken flanks. They're going to actually boop you and try to push you around while you're trying to clear out this small room. Once you kill all the little taken scions, there's still going to be some hobgoblins up to the left. There's going to be one hidden a little higher up, you can actually see its shadow, and one a little further back. You'll see him right now. Once you kill him, hop down into the middle, take out the blight on the floor, and if your teammates haven't reached you yet, which mine hasn't, I'm going to pull him forward. Now in this section, you're going to get a rally banner, so don't worry about saving your heavy if you're running a machine gun like me. I'll also go into the build that I'm using after this, but this is going to be just the scenario that I have set up, Polaris Lance. I've got a sniper rifle because there's a sniper bonus right now, and then I'm using a machine gun, a solar machine gun, so that I can take advantage of my artifact. Now, I've used up all my solar machine gun ammo, so I'm going to use my abilities. I'm not going to worry about it. I could have even supered here, because what I'm going to get next is the rally banner as soon as I kill this taken centurion. So I didn't even think about that, but in this case, blow your super, everything you got, clear the room up, because you're going to get your super right back with the banner. And once you shoot these Vex cubes, they're going to release one at a time, each of these bosses. So you can just knock these cubes down, and the bosses will come out. And once they do, I'm going to try to get them bunched up, and I'm going to pop my super and do as much damage as I can to one of the bosses so that I can remove some of its ads that spawn. Because every time one of the bosses dies, one of the groups of ads will stop. Now my teammate popped the well, kind of in a bad spot. He should have popped it a little further back where there's a bit of cover. But he just said, F it, I'm just going to sit in the well and try to cook this first boss. And it would have worked if we could have kept chain rezzing, but my teammate just decided to bail and run because of all the damage going out. If he would have just rezzed me again, right then and there, we could have finished that boss off, but I was like, whatever, he's almost dead. So I'm going to hop down, I'm going to try to find that boss. Benefit of dying and coming back is you get ammo back in your gun again, so I didn't have to reload. And there's the boss that I was trying to kill. Now from here, his stuff will just despawn, and then more stuff will spawn for the other bosses. And you can kind of see that happening in the background. The cave is a great spot to do damage from because you can loop around to the left side and the right side and keep the enemies kind of bunched up and get them lined up. So I'm taking out all the little stuff right now. There's going to be invisible minotaurs to deal with, and of course all the little scions and stuff, trying to get them with the explosions. It's really nice having the ignitions. I still recommend solar for this mission. I'm going to take out the wizards as well because they can do a lot of damage from far. And then once I have the final little stuff out, then I'm going to start working on the boss with the ammo that I have left. I had double finders, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to drop a lot of heavy. So just keep that in mind. You may not get a whole bunch of heavy. You may want to just swap that out for other things that are beneficial to you. Maybe heavy scouts, so if you do get heavy, your teammates can get some heavy too. But just for whatever reason, the double finders, I wasn't getting any ammo finding. Now I'm trying to use my sniper rifle, and my teammate is doing his best to try to prevent me from hitting shots with my sniper rifle. Fantastic. The life of an LFG, right? Trying to get as much shots as I can in. And again, I'm just trying to push for time right now, so I'm not worried about my life. I already died in the well, so there goes my flawless, right? Taking out the ads again, grabbing ammo. Keep an eye on those arc balls. They are going to track you through things and around things. They may get hung up for a second and then try to catch up on you later. So here I'm popping super now. I thought this was the last boss, so I was actually taking out all the little ads and stuff after the fact, thinking that they were going to be the next ad spawns. I didn't realize there was a boss over there with the teammate that was kind of following him into the corner. If not, I would have just finished him off with my last 2 shots. And now that that boss is dead, we're going to get the new boss. So this is the major difference with the new Whisper of the Worm mission. There's going to be another boss spawning, which is going to be an ogre boss that is going to be shielded. And his, of course, ability is to push you everywhere with his attack. So just be aware he is going to push you back. Try not to be on the edges so you don't get knocked off the map. Also, try not to do like my teammate and stand across. You want to try to stand in line with each other so that way you can get shots. As you see, I'm getting these sniper rifle shots in now that he's looking at me. So I shot all of my shots with the rewind rounds and the 4 times, and now I didn't have any more ammo. I grabbed a little bit of ammo, but it's not going to be enough to do a whole bunch of damage, so I'm going to switch to my Polaris Lance and try to get him cooking with ignitions. A good thing about the little shadow thrall that run at you is you can just punch them to kill them. You don't have to waste ammo on them, and they can drop you ammo as well. So that's pretty much, I think, what they're there for. I think Bungie thought about it originally when they did this mission and said, how are we going to get them ammo drops when there's only bosses up? So the shadow thrall keep respawning so they can refill your ammunition. Once he gets past his halfway point, he's going to actually shield up again. He's going to summon 2 wizards at the back of the map. These are going to be the Taken Shield Weavers. From there, I'm going to go move to kill the Taken Shield Weavers quickly. Thank goodness for Icarus Dash, because he was trying to push me off the map again. And now I'm going to get into position to try to finish him off. We have 4 minutes left. He's still got half his health. I'm about to get my super, so I think we have plenty of time. I'm actually going to go and try to use his well that he left and abandoned. Here I am trying to hit shots through flinch. Now it's super time. I should be pretty close to finishing him off with his super. When you have the Dawn Chorus on, it's such a heavy-hitting super. And there it is. Last shot did it. That's the Whisper of the Worm. Just move to the end and collect. And once you collect your loot, you're going to get credit for not only doing the blights, like we did earlier in the very beginning, you're going to get credit for beating it on Legend, of course, and then that's going to give you the Whispers of the Taken mission completion. You have to go to Eris Morn now in order to pick that up. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to load up the Sanctuary, and we're going to go to Eris Morn, and this is going to be on the moon. When you come to Eris Morn, she's going to give you a Whispers of the Taken 1 completion screen. From there, she's going to tell you memories are not passive, unlike a Crucible feed or one of Ido's fables. They are constructed and reconstructed, reborn anew each time we recall them. They are generative, and in your case, they have created something wholly new. So she touches a weapon and concentrates, and after a moment, she'll relax. Just as you'll find this weapon expanded, explore its new facets that you may guide it toward its highest form of service, and that's kind of how they work in the lore, us getting the upgraded Whisper of the Worm, and this is going to be the Fill Prep perk. Now, once I have the Fill Prep perk, I'm going to take this to the Enclave and visit the Relic. And I've already shaped the weapon. You're going to initially shape the weapon, and you're going to take the Deep Sight Resonance from the one that you have dropped and extract it to shape the weapon in the first place. Then what I did is I took my drop that I have that was Max Light, and I upgraded the shaped weapon for only 1,000 Glimmer. Once you do that, then you can go in and just shape the weapon first, which is just going to give you the first set of perks. You just pick the first thing in the row, including Mulligan. Once you come back, you're going to actually have White Nail 2. So White Nail 2, what that's going to do, that's going to give, it says higher base precision, rapidly landing 3 precision hits will refill the magazine. I didn't see any additional damage. All I think that this does is just unlock the new intrinsic section, which is going to be where you can pick field prep. So I'm going to give it White Nail 2. And then I'm going to level the weapon up. As you can see right now, the weapon's level 1. So then what I had to do is shape the weapon to finalize the shape with White Nail 2, go in, and then level the weapon up. I level it up to 16. That way, just in case any of the traits are like level 16 blocked, I just leveled it up to there. And then I came back into the Relic, picked the Whisper of the Worm, and now you can see that I can actually choose the barrel. I ended up going with Fluted Barrel for the handling. The stability and range are already kind of fine as it is, and Fluted Barrel doesn't really damage your stability too much. You already have a pretty good up and down recoil shot from here, as long as you're not getting too much flinched. So I went with Fluted Barrel, and then in the next column, I decided to go with the Field Prep perk, because when you're not missing your shots, you don't need Mulligan, and if you're crouching as you're reloading, if you make a mistake, you're going to get that ammo back much quicker. The reload is much faster. You can actually see the difference. I went into the firing range and I fired off a couple shots and did a regular reload. and you can see how long that takes. And then I went and I fired off a couple of shots and did a field prep reload, and you can really see the difference, like in the field prep reload from the regular reload. It just throws the bullets in there, boom, you're ready to go if you happen to miss some shots. So I recommend field prep. That's pretty much the whole setup. All you have to do now is just revisit it once we find new oracles. So I'm going to put up a new oracle guide, and you'll have to revisit it probably every week that it's available to get the new nail perks. And what Bungie probably did is they time gated this a little bit, and they probably are only going to release like 2 oracles at a time, or maybe 3 oracles. So we'll have to come back in later weeks to go through and find the additional oracles. I pretty much went everywhere. As you can see, I've got some footage running in the background of me jumping around. I went over to the Vex Gate. I climbed the large area behind the Vex Gate. There's like a large section where you can kind of fly around the Vex Gate, and you can climb all the way up, and you can see me doing that here. And then once you get to the top, you have a really clear view of everything. I even used the Dawnblade Super and try to fly into the light area where there's these little platforms floating in the distance, and it won't let you get up there. Unfortunately, it's an invisible dome that kind of forces you downwards back toward the Vex Gate area, so you can't go any further. And I even stopped every time I went through different sections in the Thrallway, for example, where you can drop down, and there's like all those respawning thralls. Looked all on the edges of that, couldn't find anything. So right now, because there's only 2 locations out and nobody's found anything additional, that's my assumption, is that there's only 2 locations this week, and each week we're going to get more as it rotates back in. And so it's just kind of Bungie's way of kind of time getting things and keeping us interested in these exotic quests. Not a fan of it. I wish all 7 were available so we could have just knocked it out this week. Done the same thing with 0 Hour, so on and so forth. But that's what they got to do to keep people engaged, is time gate things. That's the only way they know how to do things. So hopefully in the future they won't do that with some of the stuff in the final shape, and we're not time gated where we can just get everything all at once and really just enjoy everything, expand on everything, take advantage of the prismatic class that we're going to be working with, and just not have to worry about, oh, I can only do this week, I have to wait for next week or 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now to take full advantage of this thing. But other than that, this is pretty much the whole guide. Thanks very much, guys, for watching to the end. If you have any additional questions, or if you found any additional secrets that we're not aware of and haven't put into the video yet, you can throw that into the comments below, and I'll be glad to try to update that on a different video. It was a blast running the Whisper again, and I look forward to putting together more videos for you guys on the 0 Hour mission and the Onslaught once they get that fixed. I'll see you guys on the next one. This is going to be the build portion of the guide. I'm going to put this at the end of the video, so you'll be seeing this after I've already kind of signed off on the original part of the video, just in case anybody was curious what I was using to blow through the Whisper of the Worm mission. I was using a sniper rifle of Supremacy with the rewind rounds and 4 times a charm, and I have boss spec on that because I'm pretty much using that only on the bosses and the big stuff. The enhanced versions of that are going to help out greatly if you can craft this and have an enhanced version. Sniper rifle is also the bonus damage on the mission, so it's one of the modifiers. Of course, the trusty Polaris Lance is going to help out with killing enemies at a distance, burning them up, creating Radiant for yourself using your artifact. And then the fixed odds is going to be Field Prep and Incandescent. Field Prep to help reload, and then Incandescent, of course, to spread Scorch and continue to take advantage of the Solar Kit. For the artifact, I recommend going with these setups here. So you're going to have Revitalizing Blast for sure, Rays of Precision. If you're solo, you can do Solo Operative. If not, then you can do Heart of the Flame. That'll get you more damage when you're casting your super. Torch, Flint Striker, Kindling Trigger, and a big one is from Whence You Came, since you're going to be fighting Taken. This is going to be a nice boost to your damage. And then from there, anything else that you want from here, there's nothing really to worry about as far as any of the champions that are going to be threatening you, even on Legend. Now for the mod setup, I have double Harmonic Siphon. That way I can create a bunch of orbs with my solar weapons. I have heavy ammo finder, even though I hardly ever got any heavy ammo drop from here. You might want to swap this out, like I said in the video, because I just didn't get a single heavy drop in most of my runs, and if I did, I don't remember. I'm running font to focus so that way I can get 100 discipline once I have an orb pickup with time dilation to extend that. And then I'm running impact induction so that way when I use my melee, I get grenade energy back, and I'm using healing grenade to stay alive. As far as the resistances, sniper resistance is big because there's going to be a ton of snipers, ton of vandals, ton of hobgoblins. I have arc resistance because I'm trying to get resistance from the blights that are thrown at you by the captains. I believe that's arc damage. And then I have harmonic resistance. I had a slot open, and this will also help from some of the snipers. I believe the vandal snipers shoot solar. I've got triple solar surge, so that way I can do a ton of damage when I do have an armor charge on the bosses. I've got my resilience maxed out with the recovery at 70, and again my discipline will be 100 when I do have an orb. Running proximity ward, that way if I need to get my health back, I can get a finisher in and get a powerful overshield, which is going to give me time to get my health back while the overshield exists. And then I have bomber, so that when I pop my class ability, I get healing grenade back as well. Now for the Dawnblade itself, I'm running, of course, the Dawnblade Daybreak Super, because this one is going to be tied to my Dawn Core's helmet. It's going to be a ton of damage. It's going to be very helpful on the bosses at the end of the mission, and helpful to clear rooms out. I'm running Touch of Flame and Icarus Dash. The Icarus Dash is going to help me get to certain ledges if I miss a jump. I originally was running Heat Rises so that I could eat my grenade and then kind of float places, but because you can't really mantle stuff for some reason in this mission, like my character never mantled anything even if I was like waist above it, I'm just running Icarus Dash just to make sure I get over a platform to land safely. Again, Healing Grenade, Incinerator Snap, or you can run Celestial Fire. I just like Incinerator Snap personally for all the little stuff, the little thralls and things, clear them out. I'm running Healing Rift, Ember of Empyrean, so that way when I pop my grenade, for example, and I get Restoration times 2, my Solar Weapon Final Blows will extend the Restoration, and of course Radiant as well, and kind of keep me alive longer. I'm running Ember of Singeing. That way when I do drop Scorch stacks from my Scout Rifle and my Machine Gun, I get my class ability back faster, so I have more survivability. I'm running Ember of Ashes for additional Scorch, and then I'm running Ember of Torches, so that way when I do use my melee, I'm getting Radiant again, and I can extend that again with Ember of Empyrean once I get Solar Kills. So that's the kit that I'm using to do this. And as far as group makeup, I didn't really see any necessary group makeup. I think anybody with any particular class and subclass can do this just fine as long as you're using cover appropriately. You die and you come back quick, so even if you do die and you're not flawlessing the thing, you come back in a few seconds, so you don't have to worry about trying to get a res too fast. If somebody dies in a bad spot, just let them sit there for a few seconds so they can res themselves, come right back into the fight. And so that's the build guide. If you had any additional questions on that, drop them down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.